What's going on, everybody? So let me do a little bit of open intro here. So my name is D Anthony. If you guys have been following my channel, you guys know predominantly that I do stock trading videos. So I'm going to do technical analysis, I'm going to do breakdowns, I'm going to do trade recaps, so forth and so forth. What I'm going to be doing now is kind of setting up a little playlist within this channel. So if you mainly come to my channel to kind of watch those technical analysis videos on stocks, stick around, stay for those videos. I'm going to continue to upload those videos. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of make because I have a lot of things to say, right? So, when it comes to business, when it comes to motivation, when it comes to just real life shit, right? So with that being said, I kind of want to just ramble. I want to talk. I want to, this is eventually going to form into its own channel and its own little podcast. So, sit back, subscribe to the channel, go into that new playlist. The name of this channel, when I do come up with that podcast channel, is going to be Respect the Vision podcast. That's going to be what I'm rolling with. It's just what I like. Everything starts off with the vision. It's up to us on what we do and how we're going to kind of react to that vision. But these videos, until I get my studio set up for the actual podcast, I'm just going to kind of be shooting these, short little 10, 15-minute clips. And eventually this is going to, kind of evolve into a podcast where I bring on guests and we're talking about entrepreneurial shit. We're talking about, the struggle, the grind, real life, politics, whatever I want to talk about, because obviously this is my channel. I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. But I think that I do have a good message. I have certain shit to say. And, sometimes I feel that it would help somebody. A lot of the times I think that, we kind of get caught up in our own, in our own nonsense, in our own noise, in our own head. And we don't really, kind of unlock that door to our full potential when it comes to whatever. And it could be, relationships, it could be business, it could be, personal friendships. It could be money. It could be your career. It could be anything. I mean, anything in life, right? So with that being said, this playlist, which is going to evolve into its own channel, is going to kind of be unscripted. I'm not really writing anything down. I'm going to have a general topic, and then I'm going to kind of talk to you guys about what is in that topic. So just bear with me as the videos go on. As I do more of these, it'll get better and better and better as far as an overall structure. But this is more of something like where you put on your headphones, your AirPods, whatever it is, the TV. I don't really care where you're listening to me at, and kind of just, do your thing and just listen to what I really have to say. But in this first episode, it's going to be about, still haven't titled the video, but it's going to be about time, right? Time and waiting. And I'm going to kind of get into what I mean by waiting. So I feel like a lot of times, right, a lot of us are always waiting for something to happen, right? And it's like, that could be one of the most detrimental things that you can really, do when it comes to anything in life. So I feel like a lot of people are always waiting for someone to open the door. You're always waiting for that next best thing. You're always waiting to fail. You're always waiting to be successful. You're always waiting, to get some sort of motivation from someone. And it's like, I don't care if you're 50 years old and you come up with a business idea, or, you're 18 years old and just graduated high school. If you have some sort of idea, and I'm going to mainly be talking to the entrepreneurs in this segment, but entrepreneurs, career, and business, I'm going to mix it all into one, right? Because it's all going to be, different branches from the same tree. So with that being said, it's like, if you have a business idea, right? Whether you want to open up your own store, whether you want to be start your own e-commerce, whether you want to get into day trading, you want to get into stocks, maybe you want to get into YouTube. Maybe you want to become a doctor. Maybe you want to become a therapist. Maybe you want to be an athlete. I don't know. Whatever it is that you want to do, I feel like that a lot of times you're kind of waiting for that acceptance. You're waiting for that okay. You're waiting for someone to tell you within your inner circle that, hey, yeah, go ahead and do that. In the major fucking problem with that is that when you do wait and you're always kind of looking for that social acceptance, all you're doing is letting the hands on the clock tick around and around and around. In every minute that passes by that you don't just get fucking started, that you don't just start doing what you want to do, you let one day pass, turns into 1 week. In 1 week turns into 2 weeks. In 2 weeks turns into 3 months, and 3 months turns into a year. Next thing you know, you're kind of sitting back 6 months down the road, 2 years down the road, and with that same vision, that same idea, that same goal that you set up for yourself, but yet you never went anywhere. You never did anything. You never actually took the action to get it started. And it's like a lot of times I feel that everyone is always waiting for someone else to tell them that it's okay. It's like, how long are you going to fucking wait before, you just actually tell yourself, I'm going to do this? And it's a lot of times the reason why you're not doing this is because you don't have the discipline. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not the most disciplined person in the world. I can be lazy at times, but I also knew that, like, from a young age that, I really never wanted to work for anyone else. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't had jobs before. I've had more jobs than I can count on both of my hands and feet together. Jobs from retail, jobs to sales, jobs to, labor work. And none of them, I always found a reason why I was getting screwed over. Always found a reason as to why it wasn't working for me. Now, everybody is different. That doesn't mean that a normal person can't just go out and get a 9 to 5, come home to their family, be happy, make a living, buy a home, start savings. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. But some of us are just wired differently. Some of us don't want that. Some of us don't want to be in that fucking box that they try to tell you your whole life growing up. If you think about, when you were in school, it's always, you need to get an education, you need to go to college, you need to go into one specific field, you need to, go into debt with school loans, you need to get out, you need to get a job, you need to pay those school loans back, then you need to start a career path in the profession that you studied in college. And what happens if it doesn't work? What happens when you don't want to do that anymore? Then you're all the way back at ground zero. So I'm not saying don't go to college. I'm not saying do not go work a regular job. But what I'm saying is that if you really have a passion, you really want that, you really have that fire and that desire, that entrepreneurial spirit where you want to do something for yourself, you can always do that in conjunction with working a 9 to 5. And you can't just let anyone tell you that, well, you need to do XYZ until you can do something else. You really need to, whatever it is that you want to do, you need to be able to just do it. Whether that means that you're working a regular job and you're working on that side hustle on the side, it doesn't matter. But the thing is that you just need to get started, because if you never get started, you're never going to finish. Now, anything when it comes to business is never finished, right? You're always looking for that next thing. Like for me personally, I'm always looking for that next thing. And it's like, that could be a reason why I'm starting this, kind of second channel, this playlist, because I'm looking for that next thing. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop trading stocks. That doesn't mean that I'm going to stop being a day trader. I'm going to continue to do that, but I'm also going to do what it is that I want to do. And if you never really, kind of open those doors, and you really want, and you never like take that chance, because everything in life is going to come down to taking risk. If you're comfortable where you're at, then this video is not for you. This podcast is not going to be for you. It's just not, right? But if you do want something more, it's going to take you to actually get out there and put in the work and do it. So with that being said, is it all comes back to time. A lot of people say that, well, I work full time and I have a family and I got to manage my personal life. And, I need time to do my hobbies. Well, then if you fucking want something bad enough, you're going to make the time to do it. And it comes down to personal relationships. If you want to be with somebody, you're going to make the time to put in the work to make something work. Yes? Okay. I think that we all can agree on that. If you want to pursue, the traditional going to college, coming out, let's say you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. Well, you have to go to class. You have to put in the work. You have to, do the extras of what it's going to take to actually get you to that end goal. So for me, I always knew that I never really wanted to work for anyone else. I figured that, I would always look for some loophole as to where I was getting screwed, right? In the traditional corporate world. If I was in sales and I was selling, a particular product or a service, I would always figure out that somewhere I was doing all of the work and taking 25% of the pay. Okay. There was always someone above me who was, profiting off the fruits of my labor, off of my dedication, off of my work. And I just knew that if I was to put my energy towards something that I wanted to do, that I would be successful. But I also knew that if I didn't take the time to actually just sit down and start, I would never finish. Okay? I would never finish. I would never get there. I would never reach that level of success that I wanted to. And by no stretch of the means am I there yet. Okay? There's still a long journey that I feel, even for myself, that I need to go. Okay? There's still so many things that I want to accomplish, and I know that I need to be starting on them today, tomorrow, and the day after. And what's going to really get you there? What's going to really put you over the edge? What's going to really set you apart from that next person in your same field, that next entrepreneur, that next person who wants to start that business, the next person who wants to start that brand, is consistency. Okay, see, we all have a vision. Okay, we all have the desire to want to do something different. We all have the desire to maybe want to do something for ourselves. But the thing that is going to set you apart from everyone else that wants to do the same fucking thing is consistency, is showing up. If you actually never show up, you could have the best idea in the world, but there's always going to be that one other person that has their head down, that's not talking about it, that's not telling everyone what they want to do, and is just working and working and working and working and working. And by the time you really see those people, whether it be on social media, whether it be in your everyday life, by the time you really see those people and they are successful, or that one thing that they were working on pops, you never really understand how much fucking work they put in, how much sleep that they lost, how much time going out that they gave up to actually dedicate and do what they wanted to do. Versus someone like you or someone like me can have a great idea, but think that we don't have enough time. Think that, hey, you know what? I'm young. I'm 21 years old. I'm 20 years old. I'm 25 years old. You know what? I got nothing but time. I got 2 more years before I really need to settle down. I have 10 more years before I hit 30. So you know what? I have all the time in the world. You know what? There's a person out there that's 20 years old, 22, 23 years old. And what I'm starting to notice, especially with social media, just being able to keep track of everything in the way that we've kind of progressed over the last 20 years, really since like the internet craze, and then the social media craze, and then the smartphone craze, the access that we have, the knowledge that we can actually learn for free. A lot of times we can learn all this shit for free, but we spend more time researching things and looking up things than actually putting in the work. Now, you're never just going to, you're not just going to have an idea, tell yourself you're going to work every day and things are just going to click. You're going to have those setbacks. You're going to have those hardships. You're going to have those times where you're working 80 hours a week, 60 hours a week, 100 hours a week on whatever it is that you want to do, and you see no results. You see no progress. And it's those times where you start to think, man, I feel like I've given up so much for this one thing and nothing has paid off. Nothing has paid off. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's a difference between doing that for a week, a month, 6 months, versus someone who was putting in the work and actually dedicating every single fucking ounce of free time into that one goal, that one objective. And you may see them be successful or see them, on the other side, right? Meaning that you might see them after everything is said and done and it looks so easy now. But also, you didn't know how many times they wanted to give up in month 6, how many times they wanted to give up after 1 year, how many times did they fail, how many times did their inner circle said, go back and get a real job, go back to college, stop all this nonsense. If this is not working and you've been at this 2 or 3 months, if this is not working, you know how many times that I was told after 1, 2, 3 months, this is not working, this is not working, you should do this, you should do that, you should go back to do that. If I would have listened to those people, I would not be where I'm at today. Okay? And even still, I have so far to go. Even still, you have so far to go. Because at the end of the day, the work is never really done. Time doesn't run out until we are no longer given the gift of being on this planet anymore. Okay? Now, that can end and the rug can be pulled at any time on each and every single one of us without knowing. Okay? At any single day, any single point in time, this life that we know can be taken away. And do you want to one day be sitting there realizing that you don't have any more time left to actually do what you wanted to do, to accomplish what you wanted to fucking accomplish? That's the main thing that I wanted to get apart, like put forward in this first video, is time. Okay? We all have goals. We all have that business that we want to start. We all have that career path that we want to go down. But there's a little piece of us that is waiting for that social acceptance. It's waiting for someone to tell us to take that leap of faith. It's waiting because we think we have more time. What if you didn't have that time? What if you didn't know if you have the next 10 years? What if all you had to rely on is whatever you are currently working on now? Meaning that if everything was to be taken away from you tomorrow, and all you had to fall back on is whatever dream or whatever vision, whatever business it is that you want to do, if everything, your 9 to 5 was taken away, your livelihood was taken away, you only had 1 year left, and all you had to do was rely on whatever idea that is sitting in the back of your mind currently, how well would you be sitting? Can you really say that you took the time to put in the work, to fall back on that one thing? If everything is taken away, did you take the time to actually make it happen, to actually make it work? So it's like, that's why for me, it's like when people say, well, I don't have time. I work 40 hours a week and, maybe I'll start next week. Are you telling me you don't have 1 free hour in the day? Not 30 minutes in the day? I think if you go through your schedule, how much fucking time do you spend on Instagram? How much time do you spend watching YouTube videos? How much time do you spend watching Netflix? How much time do you spend watching ESPN? How much time do you sit and listen to that podcast, listen to your favorite playlist? How much time do you spend doing shit that will never matter when you could be utilizing that time to focus on yourself, when you can be utilizing that time to work on yourself, to grow, to work on your business, to start that project, right? I want you to think about that. In this first video, I want to leave you with this. If everything was to be taken away tomorrow, if your livelihood, your 9 to 5, your job, however it is that you earn money today, however you earn your living today, if that was taken away tomorrow, how would you survive? How hard would you work at that point in time? Because if you can ask yourself, if you can answer that question, and you know that you've been putting in the work, you know that you've been putting in the time, and you've been making time to make that happen, if you know that you can do that, and tomorrow you can step aside from your livelihood and transition 100%, but if you can't make that transition today, what are you going to do to get started? Because there's only 24 hours in the day. Do you sleep 8 hours? Sleep 7. Do you sleep 7 hours? Sleep 6. Do you watch Netflix for 1 hour each day? Stop watching Netflix. I just want to leave you guys with that. On this first one. Guys, if you did like this content, subscribe to my channel. If you just did come across this video for the first time and you have no idea who I am, you've never seen any of my, stock trading videos or nothing like that, and you just happen to come across this video, subscribe to my channel. Respect the Vision podcast. It's going to be a separate playlist on my main channel, and I will see you guys all on the next video.